I want to invite you on a journey with me. It's a journey that took 19 years, but I have millions and millions of sisters around the world who have been going through this journey, who have completed it or are just starting. It's a journey to a hysterectomy. Sometimes our femininity and our value as a woman is attached to having a functioning uterus that can birth children. But what happens when that goes wrong? What happens when that uterus has done its job or didn't do the job and yet has to be taken out? This has plunged so many women into deep depression, and they have lost their sense of identity and value, thinking that their worth is tied to this organ. This journey of 19 years that I have put together and compiled in vlogs is what I'm inviting you on. How did I get here? I am still in post-recovery, but many things I have learned, and the most important one is this: my creativity and my ability to create life did not end with my uterus. I want to be able to share some of those principles that I've learned with you. But first, again, strap up your seatbelt because we're going on a roller coaster ride. This is the journey to my hysterectomy. Hey everyone, Latoya back. I am pretty excited today. No, you're not seeing double. I actually do have a very, very special, I won't call her a guest, family member, because you'll probably be hearing a lot more from her. But before I introduce this angel next to me, I wanted to just recap a little bit of why we're here right now. And so you don't think I'm crazy. So I started the conversation with you about this journey to the hysterectomy. And I think what I did last was I went on a rant, and I know because after I looked at it, I was like, y'all probably thought I was lost. I had lost my mind. But I went on a rant as I was talking about scars, and I got emails and I got text messages, and I just kind of want to shout out some people. I'm not going to say your name, but for all of you who have sent me, whether it's WhatsApp messages or emails or messengers about your personal story, I have read every single one of them. I have cried with you as you shared. Some of you have shared that writing to me was the first time you actually talked about your journey through a hysterectomy. Shout outs to the ladies who actually just had them and messaged me from your recovery bed. I have been praying for you and sending good vibes your way, but I appreciate you sharing. And I just wanted to just say thank you for including me into the community of the sisterhood who have been through this particular journey. And I call it a journey because it's not like anything wrong has happened. It is just part of life that some of us women have to go through. Shout out especially to one of my sister and mentors who today, when she called to just see how I was doing, I mentioned to her about the date for the surgery, and she's like, yeah, been there. And I was like, what the heck? Like, I feel like all these women who have been around me for years and years and years and years, and we've shared all of this amazing sisterhood and relationship, and I had no idea that they had gone through it. But I digress. You know, sometimes we can't start a conversation unless we have arrived at the place where we can have the conversation. So why would I need to talk about hysterectomy if I wasn't having one? So there we are. So that segues into why we're here today. So last week I had what I would call a grief crisis. Mm-hmm. Yep, I had a grief crisis. Many of you do not know, but from July, it was a string of deaths. My father died, my mentor died like 2 days after him, and then I had a sister friend, Lorna, who died just, suddenly, and then one of my best girlfriend's son passed. It just was like nonstop, and I thought I was doing okay, so y'all know what's coming. We're gonna have a grief series. I thought I was doing okay because us women, we just have to work through our grief and get back into the swing of things. And I believe what happened was I got back into the swing of things, thought I was okay, thought I was handling it all right, and it snuck up like a tsunami and overtook me last week, and I was done. So I had a very, very interesting breakdown and meltdown. And so my sister here, Teresia, called, well, I called you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I posted on the other thing the other day or today or something that it's okay to say you're not okay. And finally, Friday, I was like, I'm not okay. It was that simple, I'm not okay. So I called for help, and it's one of my sisters here who's also a mental health counselor provider. She said it's the same thing, so there you go, but it's called Angels. So I called her, and one of the blessings was that, like I said in my post, thank God for people who know what to do before you say, and who know what you need when you can't say it. Because I could not say it, I could not talk. I was drowning. The only thing that the talking was tears, and even those tears were talking stuff. And so she knew what to do. And so when she came over, we started talking, and I was sharing with her a little bit about the journey, and I mentioned the word hysterectomy, and she was like, yeah, welcome to the club, in a sense. And I was like, you too? How do I not know these women who are around me for, it's been a year, but it feels like years, for so long? We went to Costa Rica together.
Right there, having fun.
We kind of went down almost mountains together, and I had no idea. I just thought we shared a passion for women and for empowerment, and had no idea that we also shared similar journeys. So, Teresia, yes, welcome to, I thought about a name for this thing, and don't laugh, I kind of named it, I forgot. I'll tell you later. But, Behind the Veil. Share
nice.
Conversations.
Nice. I like that.
Transparency. And because of these are share, that's what I thought about. I'm corny, I know. But share conversations.
Nice.
Yeah. So welcome to Share Conversations. So we'll probably do a two-part because it's already 6 minutes because I ran my mouth. So we were talking about this hysterectomy thing, and I did not want to hear her whole story because I wanted my reactions to be authentic. Otherwise, I would have had to pull out my acting skills and react the way I reacted when she told me. So I told her not to tell me. So you're going to see it raw. But anyway, you asked me, did I have counseling or something about post-surgery, the next stage? And in my mind, I was like, what's the next stage? Like, it comes out, and then you go home and you can't lift anything, you know, that whole thing about that. And she was like, no, the next stage. And she's like, sex. Afterwards, I'm already dying. They're going to think I'm a hot mess because...
Hey.
Anyway, all my senses woke up, yes. And I was like, what do you mean? So she's like, yeah, there's a stage afterwards, like, for sex. And so I'm going to just hand it over, and it's 7 minutes, so we will have a part 2 to this. But, all right, what's the stage that my doctor apparently didn't talk to me about? But since, you know, she's a sex therapist. Well, I'm going to call it, she's a sex therapist also.
So.
The kind of people I have in my life. Oh, yeah. All right.
So my journey began when my doctor said to me, I had a fibroid. It was growing too big. I have to get a what is it? Hysterectomy. So I was so nervous. So I said to my doctor, so how long this is going to take? Am I going to go under anesthesia, anesthetic? How long that is going to be? And then my husband's like, wait a minute, doctor, I have a question. I'm like, I'm thinking about dying if I'm going to come out from this surgery alive. And he's like, doctor, I have a question. I'm like, okay, what's your question? Can we have sex right after? And I'm like,
can we pause right here with the same words you just said? Okay, men. Okay, kudos to him for being there.
Yes.
So you had gone through everything, and you said you were about to go in, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So
yes.
you're like, the day of your surgery.
Yes, the moments before.
Okay, so my male friends who are going to be watching it, do you not understand? Like, she's probably like going to be on the stretcher being pushed in.
Yes, on the wheelchair.
Do you know it's going through our minds?
Yeah,
then,
exactly.
And hubby's there, which is good. Give it to him. Yeah. But he had sex on his mind.
Yes.
What's wrong with y'all? He's my friend, and I call him Big Brother. Yes, but still, like, she about to be cut open, and he's like...
Yeah. And then, you know, right after surgery, of course, there's the healing process. And he's like patiently waiting. And I'm like, Lord Jesus. So he was told that the sex relationship will never be the same. I'm like, oh no, this is going to happen. But something does change, right? Because once that organ is removed, everything seems to shrink. So you have to like counsel yourself back into it, get some therapy, back to your normal average lifestyle. But I must say, what has helped and has...
Before she says it, we're going to cut. So I make sure y'all come back. All right? Come back, which is literally like you go to the next slide when I'm posted. All right, bye.
So we do continue?
Yeah,
oh, okay.
We continue.
Okay.
This is raw.
Yeah,
Hello.
exactly. So...
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
They got to... Okay, hopefully you saw the video before, and if you didn't, you can't watch this one, because you're going to think that we have drank. Go back to the one before and then come to this one. So welcome to, what is it?
Share reveal.
That's not the word. Share talks. She's changing the name of this show. I was like the share room. That's not it.
Share secret.
It's share talks.
Okay, share talks. Okay.
Welcome back to Share Talks. You can tell that. Yeah. I just made it up. And I'm here with my sister friend Teresia, who we share a lot apparently, including love for life and so forth. But also she's had a hysterectomy, and I found out last week, and that's how quick we move. She's on the show today, and the beautiful thing about mentorship, which I feel like this is a mentoring moment also. Mentorship and sisterhood, and having someone who has taken the journey so that they can say to you where to go, where not to go, what to hit, and so forth. So we don't, you know that saying that a lot of people say, I'll learn on my own. You know, it doesn't always have to be that way. My grandmother always used to always say to me, you don't have to fall on the same pot just because you want to feel how it felt. You know, if I tell you there's a ditch, don't avoid it. And so anyway, it's not like we're avoiding ditches.
Yeah.
But so we were talking about that all important and amazing word, sex.
Yes.
And we last left her with her husband, and like I said, I love him to death. He's a big brother, but the way y'all men have that one thing on y'all mind, even in the face of surgery. So hubby, she was about to have a hysterectomy. It was day of it. She's about to be pulled in. Hubby's like, hold on, doctor, before you bring her in, I got a question. It's not, you know, is she gonna be okay? Like, how long is she gonna be under? Like, none of that, you know. He had a question, and the question was,
how soon are we gonna have sex?
Anyway.
Yeah.
So, go ahead, doctor.
Yes. So now that you're home and your body is healing, and because of my husband question, I'm like, no, I have to be, since I'm married, I want to make sure my sex life continue at a high level. So, but reality was not saying the same thing, right? So, with research, I found out that a lot of women never come back and have like a great sex appetite or relationship. So one thing I discover, and also talking and researching with other women, is lubricant. So that helps the body during your sexual relationship. No one talks about it, but it is needed. You could research it. A lot of sex therapists offer, lubricants that help the woman body get lubricated. So the sex is not painful.
So I guess I'll be the, well, yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Like, why does that happen? It's just your uterus that's being taken out. What does that have to do with lubrication?
It depends. It depends. Okay. So some women is just the uterus, but some is the uterus and the ovaries.
Correct. Okay.
Right. So if the ovaries is taken out, whether it's one, then you have some stimulation still happening, right?
Okay.
And if both ovaries and the uterus is taken out, you have less, estrogen and so forth. Exactly.
Okay.
So it's like resetting the mind. So once you reset the mind, you reset the body function.
Got it.
Right.
Okay. So see, they don't talk about that stuff, which makes sense, because my guess is that if your sexual functions do not reset, there is the inclination to ask, what's wrong with me?
Of course.
The husband may not obviously be satisfied as, and then there's frustration on his end also that the sex life is not the same anymore, and you can't figure out what it is, and it's all pretty much biological, and science will prove it that you modify anything in there, it will modify everything else.
Yes.
So
definitely.
So I know for me, they don't plan on taking the ovaries out. So preferably, well, I don't have anything to worry about anyway, because.
But it's a conversation you want to have with your doctor. You want to make sure what is being taken out, what is being kept.
Right, because I got a letter today and it said ovaries on there. I was like, wait a minute, you're not supposed to be taking the ovaries out. So I had to call to make sure that you're not trying to do something else in there
it's
that
important.
we didn't talk about.
Yes.
So, so lubricant, so that's one, lubricant.
Yes.
So that will help replenish what is not being manufactured naturally.
Exactly.
Basically. Okay.
And then also, with you getting to understand your husband or your partner's body, so reintroducing touches to each other, also do stimulation in both the man and the woman. So understanding sex therapy or going to speak to a sex therapist is greatly helpful.
Wow.
Yeah.
So like you have to relearn each other, basically.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, this is huge, because this can save a marriage.
Oh, many marriages.
This can save a relationship.
Yes.
This can save your ego. This can save your self-esteem.
Sure.
I interject the men in there because I know some of my brothers be watching, because they send me messages encouraging me, but y'all ain't never gonna comment, but that's okay. So I know that they're watching, but this is a real thing that aging brings on, and certain situations. So it's important to seek a sex therapist and talk to your doctor.
Yeah,
if they have one. Maybe they have one within their practice that can go hand in hand with the treatment. So if you put it under the umbrella of your holistic treatment, then you're not thinking that you're stepping out of somewhere and it's unconventional, but just like testing and prevention and biopsies are all part of the treatment or the journey to it, and then the post-op, then also figuring out what has changed in your body and being aware of it, because I guess even normal discharge will change.
It depends on the woman,
right?
Yeah,
so
and how soon, how soon you start your own therapy. Right. So it's like self-care for the body, because a lot of men, like you said, or husband partners do not understand that the woman body will change because no one speak about it.
Okay, it will change. All right. So I'm intrigued about the touching part. I mean, hey.
Yeah.
Right? Like she said, you kind of have to learn your body. And I'm really grateful that thank you so much for being so transparent. I saw your husband today and she's like, she's quiet, and I was like, you have no idea. She quiet, all right, but you have no idea. So anyway, I hope he doesn't see that. She's quiet. She's so quiet.
He's used to me, making sure women are informed,
Yeah.
So knowledge is power.
Yeah.
So we try to use that. Yes.
So we have to take full control of our journey and our healing.
Yes.
We have to educate ourselves. We have to ask questions, and we have to come out from behind the curtains thinking, I'll just take what the doctor says, and then stuff is happening and you don't know what's going on. And you have to align yourself, I believe, with a community of women who've been down that road, because they can say that thing of, did they talk to you about such and such? Because I don't think all doctors are thinking about that.
Or they're not having the conversation unless you ask.
Right. And I guess they assume that we're doctors too, because, because we need to come to a doctor and we have that degree too, so we know everything they're supposed to tell us. And even the medications too, I know some medications that I know I can't take that is on my plan, and I have to talk to them about that so we can get another. Okay, so I think we might have to have a part 3, because there goes the time. Do you mind?
I'm good.
All right, so we shall be back, darlings. Welcome back to Share Talks. Because you're laughing, I'm not going to take it serious.
But it tells you that in everything, you should laugh and have fun.
Okay, so we're laughing about Share Talks.
Yes.
It's a news program show. Hello. So apparently it's a 3-part, probably be longer, because IG only allows you 10 minutes. I think. Yeah, they only allow you 10 minutes, so I had to cut it short. So if you guys watch it all in sequence, it'll be like a, TV series, half an hour. There you go. So I'm back with Toresia, my friend and darling, who for the last 2 episodes, and please go back so that you can follow with us. We've been talking about the stage after the hysterectomy, where there are changes in your body and just hormonal changes depending on if the ovaries are left intact or not. But just the physical changes, the biological changes that you might go through. Now we're talking about relationships, relationship-wise. It's hard enough to kind of reset yourself if you're not involved in a sexual relationship, because you're trying to figure out how to be a new normal.
Exactly.
Then you add the component of a relationship, a sexual relationship, and now you're trying to get back to your new normal. Now you gotta worry about the next person adjusting to your new normal, which becomes their new normal, and whether they are patient enough, understanding enough, compassionate enough, and empathetic enough to allow this re-immersion of maybe a more beautiful new normal. Not that it wasn't before, but we have to have that positive mindset.
Of course.
That there are things that we cannot change. And so if we are going to go down this road, we are going to make the best of it. And we're going to be informed so that our new normal is a great new normal. And so I think what I hear you saying from before is it's important that all parties are educated.
Definitely.
And all parties may need help maneuvering. And that will involve, do you know what I thought about when you said, like, you kind of starting over again with your sexual relationship and getting to know each other. Y'all, if y'all did it wrong the first time, then do over. But I kind of got excited, because then I think that with the proper mindset, it could be a fun adventure.
Exactly.
You more educated, and especially you knew each other's body from before, but it's almost like you're getting a reset to learn the same person, because you already know them, and to rediscover some things that maybe you wouldn't have discovered before. So how important is mindset with that, and how free should we really be rediscovering our partner? I feel like it's so empowering for that woman to just, oh my gosh, anyway.
So
I'll talk about that when I can, but.
So should I talk about the 15 minutes and the 3 C's?
Girl, educate me.
Okay, so the 3 C's in counseling is communication, bad communication and lack of communication.
Okay.
Right? So therefore, you know your body is feeling different, acting different when you have an sexual relationship with your partner. You need to let your partner know, well, you know what? Because of the surgery, this is how I'm feeling. This is what's happening.
Okay.
This is the reality of it. So maybe I need extra time, not just to heal, but be comfortable in my own skin to be free with you.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And then you have the 15 minutes. So 15 minutes come into play where you need to re-understand your body, if there's such a word, and your husband needs to reintroduce himself to your body.
You said 15 or
15.
1-5?
1-5.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So it's 15 minutes of touching without any intercourse, any sexual intercourse.
Y'all can do that, right?
And-
Or you're going to learn patience.
Okay, so 15 minutes of touching to see what you like or how the body
Okay.
reacts.
So while you're touching, so you're practicing the communication. the
Quietness, just quietness.
talking?
Nobody's talking,
Girl.
right? You just touching to see what happens with each other's body. There's no sexual relationship maybe for 2 or 3 days. But this is just, again, learning the body.
Wow.
His body, your body, so you could be in tune with each other. So when you do have intercourse, it's a beautiful thing. Got it?
Yes, I'm shook. Can't practice it right now.
No, but
But
at
it's
least it's
so-
knowledge.
Yeah, I mean,
It's knowledge.
I'm sorry that I keep harping on it. That's another show. But so, so 3 days, 2 to 3 days
Yes.
of no talking, just touch.
15 minutes
15
increments,
minutes
yeah.
increments. So let's say it's evening time.
Exactly.
So are we doing it through the night and before we go to bed, or is it just
You
15
choose a
minutes per
time.
night?
You
no,
choose-
meaning like
Yeah.
how many 15-minute intervals
Could
per
be
day?
2 or 3, yeah.
But that's something you agree on.
Yes,
before.
yes, because the woman usually wants to do that. It's always a little difficult. It's always a little difficult for the men. So
Yeah, because
it's coming
it's called
to
constraints.
it is coming to an agreement.
You have to get some handcuffs in there.
yeah.
Ay!
So when we do couples therapy, it's always a hesitation from the man. Yes.
Yeah, and I understand that.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
like it's torture.
And
Let's
it's
just
a
be
new
real.
language. It's like a new language, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
It's torture. Tracy, I'm sorry. Yeah, she's using all these terms, but just thinking about it, yes, man, I do advocate for you too. That's torture. So we're touching each other in 15-minute increments to figure out how we're responding.
Yes,
But we
yes.
don't get to talk and we don't get to have intercourse.
No.
And we have to do this for 3 days, 2 to 3 days.
Yes.
Some guys are like, you must be out of your mind. But
Yes.
I mean, it's a buildup.
Yeah, exactly.
So I could see how then the anticipation buildup may create more of, you know, those hormones rushing
Yes.
and those, you know, get horny and, you know, just, and then, so it's again almost like starting from before, like, you know, like you're courting and dating and
Exactly.
you're building up
Exactly.
to that first kiss again.
Yes.
And yeah, man.
So post hysterectomy,
Uh-huh.
it's a wonderful thing,
Yeah.
right? So it's self-esteem, self-confident that I am still this beautiful woman,
Right.
you know, and adding some stimulant in that, you know, process and the lubrication really helps.
Wow.
And different lubrication act differently. So you have to sample to see which one works better with your body.
That's good to know.
Yes.
That's good to know. Okay, so there's a discovery period, clearly, where you see what works, what doesn't work.
Yeah.
But you know, make the best of it and have fun with it.
Exactly.
I think that it sounds like if it's done with that attitude of I got a fresh lease, that it could be something special. So, what I would like to ask you guys to let me know, could be in private or not, some of y'all don't want people to know y'all talking about this stuff, is to send me a message. I am going to ask you on air so that you have to say yes to come back so we could do another series. Actually, we're actually going to do like a mental health. I'm going to do a mental health series and have Teresia on and a couple of other of my friends who seem like I'm surrounded by mental health professionals.
It's a good thing.
That's saying something, but that means that I'm just always going to be okay quicker.
Yeah, and remember, mental health is like our physical health. Mental illness is what happens if we don't take care of our mental health.
Gotcha. See, look at the definition. So that means she said yes.
So yes,
she will come back on and we'll do another series. So if you have topics that you want her to speak on, and if you have any questions from this, then I will bring them to her, and then we might come back and do question answer time. So thank you so much for our 3-part, 1 episode, first episode, back episode of Share Talks. So see you guys later, and thank you for coming. I'm grabbing my little clicker here, and talk to y'all soon. Bye.